And the bad movie, unfortunately, is 2026's The Mandalorian and Grogu. I didn't go in expecting anything great, but I think it turned out worse than I expected. Now, I'm going to be positive first and mention the very few things that I liked, and that was the action. I thought the action in this film was great. I love the music. It's definitely different. It's definitely more of a fun, less intense, mature vibe, but it certainly feels different and feels like a fun breath of fresh air. And I like some of the character designs. And like I said, action. You know, that's one thing I go back to. I like the action. But everything else, meh. Like, that's the most generous I can be. This movie's meh. It's not great. It's not. If you thought this was going to be an extended TV show episode, I think it's that, and I think it's worse than that. This movie has a section where we basically do nothing for 20 minutes, and it's just so nothing. There's points where the film's clearly trying to have emotional weight to it, and you don't care. You don't care at all. This isn't the death of Darth Vader. This isn't the reveal of Luke Skywalker being the son of Vader. This isn't even, you know, Leia dying in Episode 9. It's just boring and emotionless. I went and saw it because it was a Star Wars movie, and I want to try and see as many Star Wars films as possible on the big screen, but honestly, this was really bad. This was a really bad movie. You know, like, to keep it spoiler-free, the plot's what is advertised. It's about the Mandalorian going on a quest to retrieve Rada the Hutt for the Hutt family in exchange for information to prevent another war. And there's a point in the movie where you think it's settled that issue, and you think that there's going to be something way more exciting. Like, that was just a opening introduction, and they had a way more exciting second half to the film. But then it just completely falls on its face over and over again, and anytime there's really a great moment, it's constantly just overcut by this just blah moment to the whole thing. Like, it just isn't a great film. It isn't well structured. It isn't well paced. It's got clearly signs of just being an extended TV show. It just doesn't matter. That's the biggest thing. I don't care about any of the characters. I don't really care what happens. Yes, I haven't seen the Mandalorian TV show all the way through, but I don't even think that would really impact it that much, because really, it's just another Mandalorian adventure. It's just another adventure. Sure, you have a bigger budget, sure, you have a bigger score and bigger action sequences, but they never add up to anything. It's like The Rise of Skywalker. I love sequences in that film, but ultimately it is a pretty bad movie. And I like sequences in this, but ultimately it's a pretty bad movie. And I'm going to get into why specifically, so we're going to get into spoilers, but if you want my spoiler-free thoughts, it's just boring. It's just bad. I'll put it this way. If you want to go see it because it's a Star Wars movie, go for it. You know, have a good time. Go in with low expectations. But if you're debating on seeing this movie or another movie that is particularly way better or way more exciting to you, don't waste your money on this. I wanted to go see it because it was Star Wars, but it's definitely not worth the price of admission. It's definitely not worth the amount of money I paid to go and see this. More so, the experience of going with a friend was more exciting than the movie itself. It was just dull and boring and flat and emotionless. So, to get into spoilers, well, for one, Rada the Hutt is played by Jeremy Allen White, and it's nothing against the actor, except it just sounds like a guy. Like, Rada the Hutt just sounds like some dude. No alien language, it's just some dude, and there's all this stuff about him feeling like his parents abandoned him and want him to be the next Jabba the Hutt, but he doesn't want to be Jabba the Hutt, and I mean, I think that could work. I like that idea that he's in the shadow of his father, And it's kind of like he wants to move on from that, because, you know, we can all agree Jabba the Hutt wasn't a very good person. But I just hated that he sounded like this guy doing voice acting. That's nothing to do with the actor, that's to do with the scriptwriters and the director. I don't know whose decision it was to make Rada the Hutt not use an alien language or have the voice that he had, but it didn't work. It didn't work at all. But I think the even bigger issue in this film is the amount of Grogu. This film, if you want to call it excessive in Grogu and cuteness and stupidity, oh, this film definitely delivers on all three of those. Grogu in this movie, I think, is fine for the little bits of humor. He's definitely there for the kids. But there's a sequence where the Mandalorian is badly injured, and Grogu thinks that he's dead and he's trying to save him. And the sequence goes on for like 20 minutes. And like the only intermission is when he goes to find this guy that gives him the magic cure. And then it just goes back and it's like, okay, we're gonna have the final battle sequence because the Mandalorian's better. Like, it just doesn't work. I don't like the whole subplot of the Baby Yoda going to save Mando. I don't like the whole subplot at all. I think it's just gimmicky. I think it's just asking for the audience to care about Baby Yoda, who, frankly, to a lot of people should have grown up by now. It just doesn't work, and you can clearly see the dollar signs on Disney's heads as they're like, hey, we know you like Baby Yoda, we know you like Baby Yoda, you know, you kids and parents, like, we know you like Baby Yoda, so here's more Baby Yoda. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You shouldn't make a product in a Star Wars movie. This isn't Frozen, where it's a kid's IP. I mean, Star Wars is for 12-year-olds, and frankly, apart from the violence, this film feels like it could be for a 12-year-old. Like, it's just that boring, and it's just that childish. I'm being really harsh, but I'm gonna say this. It just isn't good. It just isn't good. I thought they had saved the film when they decided to have Rada the Hutt go off on his own and Mando kind of go deal with things and, you know, have a different story start to take place. And then you had, like, the weird character in the hat, I forget his name, but, like, you know, hunting the Mandalorian. And then, no, it just falls apart because it becomes baby tunes. It becomes, hey, we're gonna go save the Mandalorian, all these little baby creatures, and Baby Yoda's gonna get really sad, and we're gonna think the Mandalorian's dead. And look, it still has fun moments. There's still great action at the end of the film. It just... It isn't worth paying money in a cinema to see this. It just isn't. I don't know what has happened with Star Wars. I don't know what Lucasfilm was thinking. But I'll say this, to summarize it. You know how David Zaslav went to Warner Brothers and, you know, decided to write off Batgirl and, you know, just say it wasn't worth it and it was a terrible film? I don't think it should have been written off, but I definitely think there should have been some reshoots or retooling once the new Disney and Star Wars CEO came in, because, like, this film isn't worth your time. The Mandalorian and Grogu ultimately is probably the worst Star Wars film in a long time. I'd even call it worse than The Rise of Skywalker, which at least has characters that you somewhat care about in it, and it at least has lightsabers and other fun moments. I mean, this film does too. What can I say to finalize my thoughts on this? Don't go for fun. Like Lucasfilm, just stop. Just stop trying to make Star Wars for everyone. Just stop. You've turned the brand from being something that had a grand narrative and a deep storyline about family and identity and the Force and Jedi, and you've just turned it into a Saturday morning cartoon with a little Baby Yoda that, honestly, the amount of time he's on screen makes me wish he wasn't here at all. I didn't like The Mandalorian and Grogu. I thought it was one of the worst things Lucasfilm's done. I thought it was one of the worst ways they could have made this movie. I'm not opposed to the idea of a Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Certainly it's gimmicky, and certainly it's a dumb idea. But you can make something impressive. You can make something out of nothing, and they just decided we're gonna make nothing out of nothing. They completely ruined the Mandalorian TV show for a lot of people, and they didn't even try to save it with this film. They just went down the toilet even more, I think. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. There's nothing groundbreaking that happens in this film. There's nothing that you need to remember. You could honestly cut this into a 30-minute to an hour-long special, and I don't think you'd lose that much. I think you'd actually save your time doing so. It was just bad. It was just bad. I didn't like The Mandalorian and Grogu. That's going to be my honest thoughts on the film. Like I said, I honestly didn't like it. I honestly thought it was a disappointment, and really, Lucasfilm, you need to look at what you're doing and do better. I think it's time that a Disney CEO steps in and starts taking the reins, because if this is where the brand is headed, we're going to be in for even rougher years than years we were in before. But that is it for my thoughts. I hope you all enjoy this. Have a great day, and goodbye for now.